themselves. The State House of Assembly now took it upon itself to extend the tenure of the local government chairman, which doesn't make any sense. And the reason is because election was not conducted, local government elections. So they are now saying that if Fubara want them to go, he must conduct elections. So they will be part of that. Okay, and if they lose, fine. And then Fubara was like, okay, the State House of Assembly now said we have extended their tenure. How do you do that? It's like the National Assembly saying they have extended the tenure of Tiknumbu, or State Assembly saying we have extended the tenure of the governor. At the same time, would there be no election to the position of president, and the people will kind of not act? So I understand, but it is because of the illegality that the lawlessness that the contraption represents. So in this whole confusion, right, they are all now asking the court to explain it, that since the State House of Assembly, those people who have lost their seats, they are also waiting for court to say, no, they've not lost their seats. All right? Even though they have repeatedly been told, you've lost your seats. 2 courts have told them now. But they still see themselves as lawmakers, loyal to Wike. And therefore, they now use their power to extend the tenure of the local government chairman. And the governor was like, no, not under my watch. You don't have that power. So they now went to court to go and say, court should say who has the power to extend the tenure of local government. Is it the governor or the House of Assembly? Practically both. It is the governor that will actually write them. They won't extend their tenure. They're just going to present a caretaker committee. And some of the local government chairmen, some of them will be retained. And those who are out of favor will be removed. That's how they normally do it until they organize another charade election. But because the trailer don't pass their midst, they are all using whatever tool they can. But Fubara has the upper hand. He has the upper hand. And he's using it. And that is why it is going to result to violence at the end of the day. That's the end goal. State of emergency and all that. So the policemen that took over today, they did because according to them, it is to prevent the breakdown of law and order. Something we don't break down, Tete. So that is the guys representing the Wike's guys in one of the local government areas. But from the report I have received, they said out of the 23 local government areas, probably just about 4 or 5 are now still being occupied by the police. Police is present in all the local government areas, right? But they did not block the gate or lock the gates in all of them. So which means it's just a matter of days. And then everybody would have to kind of accept the reality. While they wait on the courts, they strongly still believe Wike and his supporters and his structures cannot be uprooted, not by Fubara. And by popular demand, somebody said I should have this song. But before then, here is with Wike, why? He may be down, but he's not out.
I don't like ingrates. I can't stand it. What is happening now is what if that fixed very well in what Odli said in his book. Give a man power, money is when you will know the person. If you have not given a man power, money, don't say you know the person. He may be a friend, he may be a son, he may be a sister, he may be a mother, he may be a father. If he does not have money and power, you won't know him. It's only when you have given him money and power that you know truly who this man or this woman is. What is it? Look, I'm the FCT minister. What do I want? Politicians will tell you, sign this. What we are saying is that put the political family that brought you to be together.
That's what you mean by no, don't touch my structure.
Yes. This is something you didn't even contribute to it. People to the structure helped you. And you just start within 100 days in office, you showed it clearly. I don't like Ingrid.
Do you understand that now? the structure that brought Fubara to power, the Werewike's criminal structure. Those are the people you see in the video. They feed off the crumb from the boss, Werewike. And it is meant to last for ages. They need government money. They need the public money to fund this structure by giving them this appointment, that appointment, rigging elections in order to keep them in that place. And they can continue to funnel the state money into private pockets to maintain this structure. So Fubara, that is destroying this structure, is building his own structure. So see the Werewike structure.
The more you look, the less you see. The more you look, the less you see.
And from Rivers State, right? I want us to go to Kenya. Yeah, the Sorosoke, Kenya. I don't know what the local language is that they use in doing the mobilization. How many of you will still, well, none of you will forget anyway. But how many of you remember how the End SARS protest kicked off in Nigeria? The mobilization for it. And then how the establishment was so surprised that the End SARS protest had no link or connection to any political organization of people. None of the established, none of the establishments, had a clue who were those in charge of End SARS. Well, End SARS was about police brutality. Unfortunately, the murderous Nigerian government mobilized their military for like a war, like a war combatant mode. And they killed over 500 young Nigerians in an execution style that lasted for 20 days in the month of October 2020. I don't know if some of you remember this detail vividly. That's what happened at End SARS. There are still tens, if not hundreds, of those they abducted and locked up since October, November, December 2020 because of that End SARS protest across Nigeria. No, not across Nigeria. In southern part of Nigeria. The northern part of Nigeria completely sort of stay aloof and off it. Kenya, like Nigeria, has the highest population of young people. They say 65% of the Kenya population comprises of young people who are who are from 35 and below. So when government make policies, right, it affects them just like you have it in Nigeria. Kenya is also a multi-ethnic, multi-tribal, multi-religious society too, country, where people speak different languages as well. Kenya, like other African countries, they were European creation, fusing tribes, ethnic together in order to keep the divide and rule policy or so. permanent. And those who inherited these colonial creations, they've maintained that same status quo. Let the powerful oppress the powerless. So, but in Kenya, like you had it in 2020 in Nigeria, young people, they've had enough. This time around, they are not protesting against the brutality of their police force or so. They were protesting against the ganged up. It's like a ganged up arrangement between the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, World Bank, IMF, and all those lenders that are mortgaging the future of African youth through the weak criminals in charge of these countries, greedy, selfish criminals that will promise their people good life, better lives, and then they will offer them poison, poverty, and on. So William Samuel Ruto is their president as well. He is part of the establishment though, but he was able to present himself or post himself as somebody who was against the establishment for the people. And the young people, they followed him like you did in 2015 when they were campaigning, when the rogues in Nigeria regrouped to save Nigeria. In the APC, Egbekegbe. So Ruto had to go and join another party to realize his dream of lifting the Kenyans out of poverty and projecting a better future for Kenyans. Lies. Within a year, Kenya and Kenyans, they have seen their own shege too. But not like Nigerians these days, because listen, when you talk about economy, nobody is spared. It doesn't matter the language you speak. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you are within a geographical space that those policies exist, everything about you will be threatened, like you are facing it in Nigeria. So nobody needed to be told that if you don't do something now, that is your future, that they are plunging into a perpetuity of generational poverty. This is the most they could do. They mobilize themselves through the social media. A decentralized sort of a campaign. And in Kenya right now, you know what they are saying? Like the Sorosoke Wiri in Nigeria then, the Gen Z of Kenya, they have defeated fear. And it seems the establishment is scared. Listen, in the last 3 days, before that, like Nigeria, the authority in Kenya, they were advising parents to keep their children out of the street. They must not allow their children to follow others in protesting against finance bill. Okay, there is a bill. After Ruto visited some of these World Economic Forum, this or that everywhere, he was granted some few peanut loans. So he had to go back. Kenya has to show the World Bank that they are capable, that Kenya is capable of paying back its loan. And the only way these African countries can show to their European slave masters that they can pay the money, the peanut they are giving to them, is to go back to their countries and tax their people. Already poor people, okay? Economically disadvantaged people in their millions, hundreds of millions across Africa due to some of these decades of targeting the Africans anyway, right? Decades. So they will have to go back and tax them more. And the cost of living crisis that Africans or Nigerians are facing so much right now, right? They are facing it in Kenya too. But nobody's going to try and play a tribal card, ethnic card in the face of hunger, in the face of losing your business, in the face of losing your job, losing your family, which has happened. All of this have happened in Nigeria, and they are still happening. But people will rather rant and lament on social media, unfortunately, because their government will kill them. Now in Kenya, what they are saying is that Gen Z is saving Kenya. Their government have started amending. Okay, so what they did was that for 2024, Ruto now prepared a budget. Okay, like Nigeria, in that budget, Kenya is going to be borrowing a lot of money. So Kenyan government decided that, okay, for us to pay back some of this money, we need to increase the taxes everywhere, whatever we can get. This money has to be gotten from somewhere because our lender, they will be taking so amount, and our income can no longer match the money we are borrowing. So we need to up it. So the Kenyans who are expecting better, easy life with good policies that actually helps them, now they have been bombarded with the World Bank, IMF policies. And they are now wondering, is Ruto still their president they elected? Like, what the hell is going on? So the young people started talking to themselves on TikTok and other social media platforms. No, we are not going to take this. Now we will have to shut it down. And in defiance of the people's anger, the budget office in Kenya, the parliament, they passed the budget as well as the Ruto's request to increase taxes. They passed it. You did what? Pass what? So people started mobilizing. No. In the process, so the government started threatening them. You'll be arrested. You don't tell your children to come out, la, 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 blah, blah, blah. Then they hit the street 3 days ago. You saw that. They were on the streets yesterday. And as at yesterday, the government of Kenya, the parliament, they said, okay, we are going to amend it. We're going to adjust the... No, you are not adjusting anything. You have to repeal everything. You are not taking a dime from us. You will not do this. Until it is repealed, we won't leave the street. That's the message there. Ruto must go reject finance bill 2024. Those are their hashtags. And they are everywhere. I've got collections of clips from the third day of the protest, though. But take a look at the parliament. See, there is this lawmaker, MP, that's going to talk now, okay? Those of you who are watching me from Nigeria, or if you are from Nigeria, tell me if you can see the similarity. Listen to a lawmaker elected by the same people, though.
And so, it beats all the logics that we can join the public in the gallery and the bloggers and Jay-Z. Where will the president get the money? The money has to be raised. And then there is no need of raising emotions and trying to support the bloggers who are only saying reject the finance bill, and yet they are not saying reject the roads in our constituency. Honorable Speaker, I want to put a point about the treasury boards. As much as we want to defend the locals, we also need money, and no village can stay alone. And so, you
get that? Where do you want this money to come from? The president wants to build road. The president wants to build this. All these villages need money. So where do you think the money will come from? They are not creating jobs per se. They have started taking jobs in Kenya too. And the young people who actually understands this better, they are not taking... I'm not saying that the government will always have its way. I just want this to be something that will remind a lot of you that what the Kenyans are protesting for 3 days now, not one day protest that everybody will come gather, sing solidarity forever, ebin power, and everybody will go away. This is the third day. And here is one of them.
We want to categorically state that we are not supported by any politicians. We are not affiliated to any politicians. This is Gen Zs and millennials for Kenya, Kisumu for Kenya. The things that we want, we reject the finance bill in totality. We don't want it to be amended. We want it rejected. And this is a call to action. This is a call to action to all Gen Zs and to all millennials in Kenya that after we are finished with the finance bill, we have to go to some of the systems that got us here. There is lack of accountability in leadership. It is supposed to be servant leadership. They are our servants. They are our representatives. There is nothing honorable about them. They are supposed to represent us. We want to thank you. This is going to be a peaceful protest. We are not affiliated to any politician.
And guess what? The people called the Gen Z. The Gen Zs are those of you who are in your mid-20s now, you know. Okay, let me just say, if you are in mid and late 20s, you are Gen Z too. You are already an adult. So those of you that we call the Indomie generation that can no longer afford Indomies in Nigeria, and they make up the huge chunk of the population of Kenya. And so they are all over Africa too. Africa has the highest population of young people in the world. The population that if it gets a proper education, proper and safe country, so to say, opportunities presented to them directly where they were born, they will rule the world in everything for a long time. But now the whole world seems to be ganging up against them in Africa now, all of us. They are not bringing GMO, they are bringing their vaccines, they are bringing this, they are polluting our environment, they are destroying our environment because of their greed of stealing our resources that none of us is going to benefit from anyway. And then the rest of us who couldn't take it anymore. Majority of them are trekking. Some of them are crossing the worst kind of channels, seas all over the world just to escape from what they have turned Africa into. But for those ones who are still there, who can't run away or go anywhere, it's actually a thing of pride to see. And some would say this would have been expected in Nigeria. The Gen Z in Nigeria have been destroyed to some extent. Others are so scared. We are waiting to see. Then you have the, what do you call it? What's that new generation called again? There's another one. Those of you who are in your late teens and early 20s. But let's go to Kenya, where those who believe that this law is going to destroy a lot of things, especially their lives. And they're not just going to look it away. So I've got the collection of the clips again from all across Kenya, especially Nairobi. Nairobi CBD, which is the business district, so to say. Please, let's go take a tour of the day 3 of the Kenyans Sorosoke, the Gen Z fighting the establishment their way.
Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, haki ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na udugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi.
Reject finance bill.
Power to the people. Power to the people.
We shall not be touched.
We shall overcome. Power to the people.
And you, we have not done anything. They have arrested us and we have just complied. We have done nothing. They called us, they told us to open our placard. We have done nothing. We have
Continue rioting. We are the people. We are the people. Revolution belongs to us.
Haina mambo, you give me a call. Sawa. Kieni niko sawa. Just give me a call. Oh, good. Unaweka sumu. Unatupa sumu tupu sasa. Inawasha hadi huku bana.
Tunaangalia vile tunakoroga dawa.